Hello everyone, can you hear me? as soon as I start talking, YouTube Studio's like, oh my god you guys, it's not working properly. How's everyone doing? It's been a while. I have been very busy. Laura Boy is starting school, so there's a lot to figure out exactly what to do. Okay, good to hear. Hi. And this timeline is kind of early in development right now, but I thought it would be nice to show you all what is going on and maybe get a little bit more of an insight into my creative process. And you know, I just like mapping. I've been doing a lot of writing, doing a lot of research, and I'd rather just like, you know, map stuff. So yes, this is the pod for Thousand Week Reich and the pod of Cody's latest video. Yes, I am familiar with Thousand Week Reich, and we can talk more as we get into it. But this is a little look into my past. This is something I did as like a little challenge for me one day when I was still doing this all as a hobby. This is my Axis victory scenario where there wasn't even any pod. It was just like, oh, they win. So obviously there's like things that I would change now, like Japan winning at all. It's more familiar. It's more suited for like other dominant scenarios, like, excuse me, like the like TNO. But that's not what we're doing right now. I'm trying to use my current philosophy regarding alternate history to make the most realistic timeline as possible. And long story short, it is that no, it's not a lore grave. This is a new project. I can't divulge anymore, but it is a video that I'm hoping to get out in October. But as you can see here, we have things like Gotenland, Finland up here. These are supposed to be like Reichskommissariats. I wasn't using suck at this point, but I probably should have been because this isn't really legible. I'll be using this as like a baseline for what we do. Like, I don't want to have to redo a bunch of work here, but that's the idea, is that we're taking this point of divergence and moving forward with it. So I will reveal it again. It is in the title of the video too, but just to be clear for everyone, this is a point of divergence where the British do an armistice in 1940. So if you want to know exactly what that means or anything like that, you can watch Cody's video, or you can do a cursory research into Thousand Week Reich's point of divergence, because it is the same point of divergence. But the thing is that when you go into the details, okay, like when would the peace have been signed? Would it have been signed before Italy joined the war? If it was before Italy joined the war, that means that Britain didn't lose any of its claimed lands of Italy. So it would still have Malta, it would still have Cyprus, it would still have the Suez, Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, all these places that Italy wanted to take. And that's a pretty interesting point of divergence, because then it's like, okay, so Italy joins the Pact of Steel, Germany goes to war with Britain, and then they peace out with Britain when they knew that Italy wanted land off of them. What's going to happen with their relations? Is it going to sour? So that's the sort of idea that we're going to be taking into this thing here. Hi, not my dead name. And how do we do this? It's been quite a while. Well, we can look at a map of our World War II and get our Germany borders that way. So we can select everything here. The thing about these is that the internal subdivisions are all the same color everywhere, so you can't really use it here. Hi, Misha. I think that's your name. Now let's do, and then they do the puppet borders the same color here, so we can't use this too much. There's a little spoiler there that you might have seen. I'll keep that a little bit of a secret for a future video. Lord, that's the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a while since I've been around, and I miss interacting with my community, so it's good to be able to do this. Metropolitan Germany. I think that a lot of Axis victory scenarios sort of forget the details that this was supposed to be like the metropolitan region. Like, they really wanted to be like France and their empire and call it like the metropolitan, like the city area, compared to the rest of their territories, which would be terms of service. So, like, there's a lot of things I can't really go into detail, but I hope that you all have the basic understandings of Mustache Man's ideology and what it actually entailed. Great to have Lord Dad back. Thank you, appreciate that. As shown in the thumbnail, closed zone to be annexed by Germany. That's something that I recently have actually gone into some consideration about. If we go back to this old thing here, I might have a layer for it. Burgund, yeah, here. So let's just select this quickly. This would have been the excluded zone, North Frankreich, and all that stuff put into a SS, an electrician state. But I'm not sure if with the point of divergence, the electrician's state would actually be in this area. If anything, it would be here because of like the spiritual ideological significance of this specific region compared to the rest. Like if they were going to have any place that needed a lot of electrician work, it would be here. I'm developing a new code of avoiding terms of service while still trying to explain everything. So I hope you guys can pick up on what I'm saying despite the censorship. Yeah, I guess that is the correct term for that. Give Germany more. Don't worry, Germany's getting more. They're getting up to here. I'm putting them up to the Urals, I think. Exactly how that would actually manifest, I'm not sure. But that is what I think would need to be done in order for Mustache Man to be satiated and not continue the you-know-what. Does Japan still bomb Pearl Harbor? Yes. Electrician, I can't actually answer that. But if you look at some organizations within Germany within the 1932 to 1945, I don't remember exactly when Mustache Man got elected. If you look into the organizations and their symbols, you'll probably understand what I'm talking about and why I can't refer to them by name. Thank you, I appreciate that compliment. It really means a lot. I needed these sort of compliments right now, to be honest. It's been a really rough couple of days. Because it's not that it's bad. Well, I guess it's kind of sad. My lore boy isn't going to be around in the house as much as he used to be. It's a little sad. But it's also nice because it means that he is growing up. And he seems to be enjoying it there, so I'm glad. Do Polska do rebellion? Yes, it just is a matter of when. When would they actually do it? Hungary single-handedly won World War II in New Bucharest. That's one of the funniest things I've ever read. Depending on Barbarossa, yes. Does Japan have a victory too? It would be 1,000 week R word because of the point of divergence. Like there's a lot of debate to be had regarding the exact point of divergence. I'll get into that. I just need to finish off these borders. Something I did in my rewriting history collab is instead of using this as the main Germany color, I actually used this darker color here. It just suited the grimness of the reality of the situation. I might keep it this way though, just for now. Two wins. Hold on. There's a little heart in the way of actually reading everything. Who wins the 1940 or 44 election? Does FDR win both? That's a good question. I'm not sure yet. I don't see why he would have any different election turnouts. Short of him dying, yeah, and then there wouldn't be any reason for him to die. So nice stream, thank you. Barely started, but I'm glad to be that. Hold on, I'm checking the baby monitor for Lore Girl. I put it face down. I'm having some intuition. Okay, there we go. She's okay. So, doing some research and trying to portray it properly, and properly means like with respect to the actual reality of how difficult it would be, and not necessarily what the ideological aims of these people were. But I don't think that it's going to be everywhere. They're not going to set up little colonies everywhere. That's just not possible. That's never how it's ever been done in history. I think General Plan East said this area, and this area should be concentrated, and there was always the idea of having railways over here with protectorates everywhere else. But then there's the matter of who's doing the protectorates, why they're doing it, etc. That I probably couldn't even actually properly answer given YouTube, but I imagine FDR same time as OT. Yeah, real question is Truman chosen as VP in 44. Oh, that's a good point. There might be a difference there, and yeah, that is a really good point. I was actually surprised to know that FDR almost got voted out in 44. Okay, let's see here. So obviously these are the front lines, and these aren't necessarily actually where the boundaries were. And I'm not sure where I would actually be able to get the information I need in order to properly portray that. But this is the general government. The fact that it's even called the general government, like they couldn't even give a damn to properly label it, shows what they were trying to do here. How does this color scheme actually tell me to use this? Normal area territories, autonomous protectorates, cultural groups. The Soviets become rump state in the middle of Siberia? Yes, they would. But the question is, would they even still be Soviets? I'm not sure. British Empire would still stand after the Armistice. Yes, that is the one thing that is going to be different, is that they are still going to be around. They will have war reparations to pay, but it wouldn't be as much as trying to keep an entire army, do the logistics of having an invasion and liberating Europe like they did in our timeline, thankfully. But this would also mean that the empire would still be around, for better and very much worse. Real Code Geass vibes, yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, somebody asked me one day, it's like, what anime would you recommend if I wanted to watch something like TNO? And I was like, watch Code Geass. And they're like, this is terrible. This is nothing like what I wanted. I just used Kingdom of Examplius thing. I'll just do I'll change it as I go, because I actually wasn't really even using their scheme properly. Everyone uses the same internal division borders for every state, but I just do the color later. So I'll do the color later for the main, and then for the internal boundaries I'll do this. Yeah, that's what I was already doing, I think. Yeah, so then Shift I, nope, yes. Soviets actually surrender, they simply become exiled. Well, I heard that Papa, that's what I want to call him, I guess, for my code, because I'm not sure if he's okay to talk about. Papa wanted to not leave Moscow. Now, I think that might have just been some propaganda, but if it was actually true, it would mean the collapse of the state entirely, which is interesting to consider. What is here? Ostland. I think that's what it was called, right? Yeah, hold on. We should use the I need to find some better references for this stuff. It might take some time, and I'm worried about the retention on the stream because of it. Yeah, wait, this is interesting. How do they have this? This is darker than the others. Why is that? Is a nightmare when it comes to coloring the schemes. Considered annexed, but administered totally separately. Yeah, that is very true. Hold on, sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought. These wouldn't be the borders of the region, though. These are just like the... Yeah, I'm not going to do the internal boundaries of Belarus. I'm going to do Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, though. That's the thing about Mustache Man's Germany, is that everything had overlapping responsibilities. Like, there were several different people who did the same thing, and it just caused a lot of confusion, and that was deliberate, I think, so that people were fighting each other instead of themselves. So, like, even in their government, they had all those divisions among people. That's how deep it went. It's crazy. Wouldn't the general government and Bohemia and Moravia be fully annexed? Yes, that's possible. Depends especially on what year. And because it's the protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia, why was it a protectorate? Were they going to be colonized or just educated to be German? I don't know. I need to look into that. I know for the general government it's obvious, but when it comes to Bohemia and Moravia, because of their shared history, I need to look into exactly what they were thinking about that. It depends on what year this map... I agree, and I'm not sure yet. This is usually where I put my years, and I have it unspecified because obviously, like, I don't know yet, because I just know the general strokes of what I need, and what I need for this scenario is Germany up to here. And then up to here, what does that mean? Do they occupy this part of Kazakhstan? Which RK is that going to? Why would they stop here? Is it because of these reasons? Yes. So then, what is this actually going to look like? That's the crazy thing. I don't know what this is going to look like, because we don't really have any historical reference besides very terrible things I cannot properly go into detail about. Why use the modern borders of Belarus and Ukraine? What about this map? Oh, this map? I mean, I don't know about this map. I agree that I need to be using different borders here. So I'll just cut that out so I know not to use it. Yeah, this is incorrect. I think that they wanted to move RK Ukraine over here too. I'm not sure. This is very early in development, so I'm not sure exactly what to do. The cool thing about this is I can just put it here. Let's just go to land. I have a map of Germany's war aims in World War II that you could DM me. That would be wonderful. If you could please do that, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you. If they are even open, I'll figure it out. There's a requests thing, so I'll figure it out. Do send it over my way. I will start just dragging things in here because it's better to use these as reference at the beginning. Okay, well, is it? What happens to Free France and France Africa? Is it still under control of the Vichy government? Yes, in this timeline, there would be no Vichy government. It would just be the French government. De Gaulle would try to leave for Britain to organize a resistance, but if Britain pieces out, he wouldn't be able to recognize de Gaulle. So then where does de Gaulle go? That's one of the questions I'll need to answer in my hypothetical here. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Lord of Chaos. And I'm going to put this in the, not old references, but reference other maps. And I'm going to actually make it 100%, not 50%. Okay, so, oh, thank you. Thank God that was already... Oh my God. Shit, I almost just got destroyed. There you go. Okay. That was close. I should have looked at that. In fact, I'm just gonna... There we go. Yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for sending me one without a Hindu symbol of the sun. Occupied boundaries, occupied land. Planned borders not exact. And these are the different RKs. Really? They were gonna put Volga in... I mean, I guess that makes sense. I would probably have them make a separate RK though. German... Switzerland to be in... Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna... I'm really paranoid about this stuff. Okay. What is that? Blue? Yeah, so blue borders, yes. And they weren't going to, well, obviously they were, but they're going to do it later. Makes, okay, that's good. Thank you for that inference. Did they ever make maps? I mean, I think so. I know for some areas they definitely did. AA line. That's the, like, for this they could go with their tanks, but not necessarily what they wanted, which is like up here. So yeah, have to do some. Okay, hold on. I will need to jump out for around like 10 minutes. Actually, no, hold on. Could we do... Okay. Crisis almost averted. This is based off of Germany's war aims, assuming they made maps. Yes. I mean, they had to have some ideas and put it down somewhere. It's not a matter of, like, whatever. It's just, like, they had to have put it down. There's no way they couldn't have. This is something I didn't know. They were actually going to make Ost this big? I mean, I guess. We can always change it later. But is this a 1-to-1 here? I hope so. It looks like it. That's the beauty about Cuban. Everybody has shared their stuff so that you can just take selections. So thank you, whoever made this. Problem is that, like, when you do things like this, what am I saying? There's always the expectation versus the reality of what you could have accomplished, and then when it didn't actually happen, there's a lot of speculation work to be done. Okay. Sorry about this, everyone. Just had to make a note about something I had to do. Like I said, I'm a very busy person. Finland expected to absorb the same period. No. From what I understand, it was a matter of pride and prejudice that the mustache man wanted to take the really populated city away from the you-know-who's of the Soviets. You can see the Soviets, it's fine. Yeah, they just wanted to take what was theirs because they wanted to stick in their face. That's from what I understand. Why would they give Leningrad to the Finns? They aren't. This isn't... Oh, no, you're talking to the guy, not talking to me. I know that Finland may have been like, I want this, because they wanted it because of Finnish people living there, but there's no way that Germany was going to let them do that. Now, is this a good slide? No, we have these problems. I probably am going to have to color code the exact. Let me just delete this one. I'm probably gonna have to find a way to. Hold on. That's a discrepancy there. And the problem with keybands is that there's different versions that everyone uses, so the C's are different. So then you have to manually go in here, but it's less work than having to do it all yourself. So can't really complain. Well, sometimes it actually is more work, so just use it as a visual reference. But I don't think it's this case. Oh, is that a little heart there? Somebody pressed? That's nice. Okay, we're good. I was worried that there was some lake hidden, but there wasn't any lake hidden, so we are okay. Yeah, we may have to color code the different regions so that it's actually legible. I'm just not sure how I would do that just yet. So I'll use these as general references. Because even though they're the same color, they're different layers. So I can just select things by layer. Thank you, Clevent. They're given land near Leningrad, but not that city. Can't really watch a video going on about how the Axis wins. Yeah, that's understandable. I don't really want to make this video, frankly. It's depressing to research and then how to write it. But there's a big opportunity for things that cannot elaborate further. So yeah, understandable. The stomach for it is, if you don't have the stomach for it, that's fine. I understand, I empathize. Bye, not my dead name. Thanks for tuning in, appreciate it. I'm not going to go through all the selections here, though. Well, this is important, though. I want this boundary at least. And compared to the... I'll figure that out. Okay, so this is RK UCAR. But what about... What is this? Isn't this different? Don, Volga, Netherlands, Belgium, German, Switzerland. Yeah, I want to keep that little... well, we should probably use this reference for that region there instead of the modern border there. Okay. Delete that layer, make a new one, the same name. Wait, I should probably... I'm doing Control-Shift-I to invert the selection so that I can go in here. There we go. Do I draw the borders by hand? No, not all the time. I use a lot of reference, and I credit my reference too in my videos. I don't think it's really controversial to use other people's work as long as you credit them. So I'm not too worried about it. Does If Journey win World War II by Vivid Maps accurate? I would need to look into that. I haven't seen it before. Wasn't Volga given up on? I thought the land would have been given. Yes, that was something I just learned. But this is my scenario and I can do what I want. But hold on. Why would they... Sorry, there's a lot of learning going on here. My borders for this are wrong, I guess. I'll just use this as a reference. General government. I probably used like IRL borders for those regions and then didn't mind the slight border changes that have happened across history. That might have been what happened here. That's fine. We learn. Why am I doing it up to the border there? Because this is the boundary. Yeah, so we want this. Yes. Go here. Should I this RK again? Yeah, okay, that looks good. Except for this. Is this going in? Yes, it's going within this one, so when I draw maps I have to use reference. Yeah, that's something that one of the biggest things for me as an artist when I was doing more art related things and learning it in school. You never do something without reference. Nobody is that smart. And even if you think you're using reference, you're using your right side of your brain. You're thinking about what it should look like from an abstract point of view, and then that causes you to make things incorrectly instead of like using the use your left hand side of the brain for logic. So you shouldn't be using your left hand brain while you're doing art, but there's something to be said about what the hell, why is it so wrong? Oh, but I like this little panhandle. I'll just deal with that one later. Don't know what's going to happen here yet. You can definitely see the border regions here and need to be cleared up. Yeah, so what I was saying, the left hand, I think is the left hand side of the brain does a lot of logic stuff, like math. The right hand side is the more abstract, visual, artistic side. When you use the left side of your brain to draw, then you don't actually end up drawing properly. You just draw something very incorrect. But if you use your right hand side of your brain, then you actually do it properly. Oh, I should probably even hold on, make another layer. Oh, just don't look at that word. All right. Monetization saved. Bleistock always does look funky. It looks like Germany's tail. Well, I mean, given Mustache Man's fascination for animals. Didn't he want to call himself, or have people call him the Wolf? Yeah, bro is insane. Yeah, call me the Wolf. SMH my head. Right. I want to relax and drink some more stimulant coffee. That sounds like a good idea. Delicious. This is actually like a lifesaver, so thank you for this. I have a wolf inside. Okay. You have two wolves. One is a lone wolf. One is that's a reference of some kind. I just don't remember what. Yeah, so what is this called? Caucasia again? I'm gonna have everything here. But this is gonna be Caucasia. So we can select this. Another thing to do is somebody commented on my Turkey joining the Axis video, and they said that there was a guy who was in the Turkish government who was like, we should totally join when Germany takes Stalingrad to get land off of the Soviets. And I'm not sure if I want to use that idea yet. I need to do some more research into that, but that could mean that Turkey takes a little bit. But because this would be just a 1v1 Axis v Soviet war, there wouldn't be any land acquisitions in the Middle East, so it's just even more of a victory for the Germans. So I might end up taking that, but it would be interesting to hear any potential naysayers in the comments. I'm just making 1,000 Week Reich. I wouldn't say I'm just making 1,000 Week Reich, because I would make it differently than them, but yes, the point of divergence is similar. In my how to make good alternate history video, I talk about how you don't need to worry about doing it the same as someone else, or you like steal their idea, because you're just going to make something different. Even if you agree with basically everything, you're going to have at least one thing that's different. Or you're going to do research and you're going to find that they were wrong about something. And then you're going to correct that in your... You're going to correct that in your version, and then it's automatically way different, so... I think for now I am going to have them reach here. So let's do that. I'll use their rough boundaries here. I can probably... Yeah, I can get away with this. Japan still loses, yeah. There would be no reason for them to win unless they decide not to go to war. Because I don't think that the Germans would even make the tripartite or sign the tripartite pact. They would have no reason to. Because if Britain backs down, they wouldn't have any reason to instigate the British again. If they signed a deal with the Japanese to allow them to expand into Southeast Asia and contest British hegemony, and then like guarantee their independence, or like in any way at all aid them, what, you're just gonna cause a conflict with the British? Because why? There's no point. Okay, so that lo-fi I just stopped. No, I'm just gonna want to play Hawaii instead of work, so we're gonna listen to more lo-fi. Yeah, so like why would Germany sign the tripartite pact? And if Germany doesn't, why would Italy? Japan wouldn't have the allies to be able to achieve their ambitions. Does that mean that they don't even engage Does that mean that America never joins any war? It seems kind of unrealistic. They would still want China to exist. Because from what I understand, there's a lot of sympathy for China and their struggle for democracy in the American public's eyes. And then they're just going to let their greatest rival in the Pacific take it all and then set up a protectionist economy which would impact the free trade of the world. It's like exactly the opposite of what any American would want. So it makes sense that they would have a fight, but it could just be USA v Japan. I can see Japan maybe trying to seize some important territories as a means to improve their chances in the war, which would be like, oh, well, we should get Malaysia. But then, like, the British aren't, their navy isn't in Europe. Their navy would just be like, okay, I'm going to go all the way over to Asia now because tensions are increasing there. And it's like, okay, well, then why would Japan invade Britain? Would it be to block shipments from the Burma Road? I guess that's possible. And then there's the question of, okay, if there's no Vichy France, it's just the French state because there's no rival resistance that's supported by any major power. Would they even give up Vietnam? Because they're technically German benefactors and Germany wouldn't want to defend their acquisitions, they probably would not do anything. But then, like, would Germany even want to protect France? Sorry, stretching. Could just be that, like, despite all the war reparations and things that they would need to pay to the Germans, they still decide to fight the British. I mean, they still decide to fight the Japanese. And then it's like, okay, so if they're going to fight the Japanese, then they're going to be friendly with the British because they're also being invaded. Okay, so then now what does that mean? A German client state is now getting friendly with their, so then what is Germany going to do about that? Would they actually send like volunteers or air wings to directly fight Japanese? The Germans in our history actually did support the Chinese for a long time under the KMT. They were buying their tungsten and only withdrew their support of China after the treaty was signed. So it's like, there's a lot to figure out. I haven't looked at chat for a while. Message rejected. Okay. KMT, we know the Maoists. Yes. No support for Soviet China. Will this be turned into a series? It depends. Would Japan attack the USSR from the east? I don't think so. Mustache Man apparently wanted to turn Moscow into a lake. Oh my god. Let's turn Moscow into a lake, but call the entire region Moscow. Okay, that's... man. Sorry for the big ramble, but that was fun to do. I am going to make this a separate region. I just like the idea. And in my opinion, it makes sense given what their aims were. So I might even because I'm just gonna pull up a controversial picture on my computer. Oh, okay, so they didn't have a specific territorial stepped domain, but they would, like, there are people who would be living here and following the ideology. They would want to integrate them. So I'm going to color these people as if they were metropolitan. Probably going to do the same thing for this place. Just a general idea for now. Do I have any ideas on what the RK capitals would be? Well, I know that the RK capital for Ukraine was not Kiev. And if I explain why, I will get demonetized, so I'm not going to. But just know it was not a good time. It was not for good reasons. And then it makes sense for Eastland to be Riga. It makes sense for this to be whatchamacallit. There's a city on the Volga. I don't remember what it's called. I don't think it's not Stalingrad. There's like a, I don't know. I did not watch the debate. And just, I don't know. Just didn't have the time. Not sure if I really want to. I want to keep this a different color because of the fact that it's run by the electricians. I want to do the internal boundaries of these places though, so that I don't have to do them later. Select this layer only, do this. That seems wrong. Did I take this out of the... I did. This is the thing about doing internal borders sometimes. Sometimes I just decide not to do it because, like, why would I? Especially when it's, like, so speculative. I probably have to, though. Well, I mean, here's the thing that people actually forget about Germany in this time period. They were basically trying to speedrun what the Americans did in like 10 years. What America tried doing in like 50. I don't know the exact numbers. But the territories of the West were called territories. For Germany, they were called Reichskommissariats. Like literally, they were just temporary administrative boundaries suited to what made sense at the time. One of my favorite things is being a little archaeologist and uncovering lakes like this. It's actually kind of fun. Except when it's not. I think it was in this case. Why does Germany annex that weird chunk of land above the because this is the Volga. There were some Germans that lived there. So I'm just, it's like a mental note to myself to be like, they would probably focus on this area because Mustache Man was obsessed with roads and he wanted roads to go from all these different high density population areas and then had the rest to be like barren, I guess, while they worked on moving in there slowly. It's hard to talk about these things on a platform that does not want you to talk about history, which, I mean, fair enough. This is not really fun. But it's hard. It's difficult. Ah, this is therapeutic, though. I really wanted to be creative in a way that wasn't just writing. And then, like, oh, my research is wrong. I have to redo all my writing. Oh, God, what would the exact pod be? And etc., etc. I'm just doing this part because it helps put the mind in the right place to understand exactly what we're dealing with. These aren't actually archaic or... Why did they abandon RK Volga? I need to look into that. They might not come to the same conclusion they did in our history. I want to go back to using our timeline. It just makes a lot more sense. I heard some feedback in the past saying you should say in our history instead of our timeline, but like, dude, it lends more credibility to what you're saying in the timeline rather than like history and then what I just made up, which is still true, but I don't know. How do I make this scale correctly and look? What do you mean the scale? Are you late? I don't know. Am I still entertaining? No. Yes. Up to you. If I'm still entertaining, then you're not late. I highly doubt they would. The people I can't say did place a high premium on intellectual openness. I don't know what you're specifically referring to in this case. Blank world maps. How do you make the borders of nations without tracing a reference? Okay, here's the thing. I trace and reference. You cannot not trace and reference. I look at these borders, I select them, and then I fill them in myself. I am not going to claim that anything else, really. Like, this is what I do. And it's what you should do, frankly. If you do it by hand entirely, you're going to go insane. Just give credit where credit's due. And in this case, I don't know who made this. And I'll be sure to credit them in the full video when it's out. But yeah, do not do things by hand. Unless you're doing it because there's no other reference. Use reference and credit the reference you're using. Slovakia, the same, yes. It's turned into a series. If it is a series, it'd be like a year from now, because like I still want to do German October. And another thing that I don't want to say. Yeah, it really depends. And then like, would I really want to make this a series? It's gonna be so like, and then this thing that I can't talk about happened to this person, and everything was terrible, but I can't tell you about it. But I need to tell you, because if I don't tell you, I'm whitewashing history. So it just seems like a big waste of time. But I still wanted, like, every alternate history YouTuber needs to do this one day. So I'm doing it. Consider it like now that I've been doing it for a year, I need to like graduate or something. You could use that. No, why would they? They were a puppet state. They weren't a RK. Yeah, no, like literally, why would they? They just have higher priorities than culturally assimilating Slovakia when they have bigger problems to deal with. There's a lot of messages. I'm trying to read everything. Leningrad and Kiev were supposed to be destroyed as a pivotal center of Bolshevik resistance. Yeah, makes sense. What I was also talking about. Hold on. How do I make the scale look correctly? Like scale, when I use QBAM, it's 1-to-1 scale, and when I bring it into maps, there's something like when I bring it into actual video renders, something that I have to do is like image size, and then make it 200%. So if you look here closely, you can't really tell, but this is 2x2 pixels instead of 1x1 pixel. Because when I bring it into Premiere and I start scaling it, it does something weird with the scaling. Let me show you. So if I translate and I don't do nearest neighbor, I do like bicubic. You see how it's fuzzy now? I can't like select it properly or do anything. It's just really bad. So when you do it, you have to do nearest neighbor. And then if you do an even number, it keeps the size of the pixel properly. So that's how you do it. Hopefully that answers that question. But yeah, if you try to do anything artistic, it doesn't even matter about maps, without reference, you're going to go insane. You're going to get things wrong, and then you're going to stop, and then the world is not going to be graced with your beautiful ideas, and that would be sad. So definitely do reference, please. Sorry, big rant. Here we go. Probably shouldn't have drank coffee this late, but then again, I am a dad, so I gotta pass. I think it's okay. Yeah, we're probably okay. What was the scale? What if the scale of the two pictures are different? Like, if this didn't fit 1-to-1 like this, it shouldn't, if it's a QBAM patch like this. I think everybody does it properly. I would hope that if they did it, it would at least be 2 times the size. If so, you would just, in your image editor, do like 50% or 200%, but what the hell? But make sure that your interpolation is not bicubic, because then it makes it fuzzy and then it doesn't work. And then you have to do a lot of finagling. Okay, what are these lakes here? Is this a... I'll just quickly... I'm going to pretend like this lake doesn't exist, because that is not what my map currently says, and I'm going to go with what my map currently says instead of trying to do this. And I'll eyeball this border, and this is all in RK Moscow, so it's fine if I... Nope. It's fine if I do this. Okay, so that's that. Oop. Should probably do the Western Allies now, because that will really help paint a picture of exactly what's going on in the rest of the world. I'm listening to old school RuneScape stuff. If anyone's wondering. See an episode of German October anytime soon? That's the thing. Like, I thought I was going to be doing German October right after Bourbon, but then life got in the way and other ideas came to mind. And then I was like, okay, next month. Now I'm in a situation where I want to make this video by October, but my latest kind of point was also like, oh, German October starting in October, that's funny. But now it's like, I don't know, there's a lot to figure out. I haven't had a lot of time to figure it out. I really want to make German October, even if the, views aren't that good. I feel like the story that I want to tell with German October is something worth telling. I think it's potentially going to be better than Stressa, which is a little bit of a high bar, frankly, but I do think that it has a very unique aspect to the world, and it would actually be a good Hearts of Iron 4 mod. Not to say actually as if Project Stressa wouldn't be a good Hearts of Iron 4 mod, but I do want to say that I think that the scenario as it is currently outlined would actually be a pretty good Hearts of Iron 4 mod, so... And you'll see exactly why that's the case when it actually comes out. So, I don't know when it's going to come out. I want it to come out soon, but I also know that I'm probably not going to be able to do it the way I want to for a while. So, okay. Let's see. German October Halloween special. That's funny. It's probably due to modern day map. Yes. I know because the Arrow Lake actually exists at this point of history, and it doesn't in our history because of what happened here. So, and if you don't know, the Soviets in their transformation of nature project ended up destroying a lake. It's sad. You really like German October? That's good. Is it the Mustache Man? Yes. Who's successor? I don't know. How is his health? I don't know. These things I am still trying to figure out. There's a lot of people who could be successor, and only a few that I think would actually be able to keep the state together. Like, there's a problem is that with democratic nations you can look at general trends and then be like, I think that because of these reasons, this party would be elected instead of this party, and this party had this platform, and this platform would probably be changed due to the point of divergence, and blah 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 blah. But in this case, it's just like, the dictator who we think is God is so awesome, and he said everything was this way, and he ended up being right in this timeline, and oh, we're going to do whatever he says. But then there's the inner party politics. Who was most in favor? Who was the sycophant? Who would have actually been able to use their political influence to be able to get power? Who actually wanted power? There's all these things that really put a wrench in the works when trying to figure it out. So I don't know who the successor would be. I have a couple ideas, but I don't know. Hi, Republic of... Not going to try and say that. An entire nation is here, you guys. Okay. This is a good enough thing for now. I want to put this in a group and call it the RII Seek. I need my bleed prevent. Okay. To elaborate, what I'm saying here is there's this thing I started doing when I started making bourbon. I started making a layer at the top of everything called bleed prevent. And it's literally just this. It's all the lakes. So that when I apply a stroke, it's not even just all the lakes. I need to go into this map mode. I need to select this, which is conveniently all the coastline of the world. I need to make it black. I need to go into this, and I need to fill it in. So now what this does is it makes it so... What? No, not contiguous. Why is it... No, I thought it was unchecked and it was working out. So now what this does is, if this sits on the top and I apply a stroke effect to this, you see how it doesn't go over the sea here? Now I can do something like... I wouldn't want to do this color though. What color would I want? Probably this color. Would I be able to reference that color in an effect? Oh! Oh my god. Lore girl is waking up, and then Lore boy just ran over and tried rubbing her back and calming her down. That was one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. We want the stroke on the outside. We want the color to be the color that I selected, but I don't know where that is. I need to select this color. I need to put it somewhere temporarily. Now I need to go back into this stroke effect. I need to make it so back in there. Okay, so now everything here has an internal boundary here. Do you see that? And it doesn't go into the sea. So, yay! Alright. Too much excitement. Alright, so this is the metropolitan area and its boundaries. Except for the Benelux. Apparently Fat Man was supposed to be Mustache Man's designated successor. He was removed from the position due to him asking permission to assume leadership. Interesting. That's actually very interesting. Why would he ask that? Was it because of wartime problems? If that's the case, then that means that he would be the most likely successor. But then the question is, when would Mustache Man die? If Mustache Man died later, it wouldn't make sense to give it to another old man. But then again, politics. This is during the end of the war. Yeah, so... That's the thing, is that, like, Mustache Man was very meticulous with his politicking, and therefore would be very difficult to predict exactly what he would do. This exclusion zone, probably not going to be a thing. Military administration in the north, though. I'm not sure if they would take Calais. Like, because of how short the war was, they probably wouldn't even have the idea to keep themselves there. Guess you'll die sooner than the must, maybe. I'm gonna check something. Okay, sorry, back to business. Technocratic, I mean, I guess. I wouldn't want to make purple. I guess this dismal blue makes sense. And because they wouldn't necessarily be fashionistas, but they would still be totalitarian, I guess that makes sense. And yes, I did just call them fashionistas. Wouldn't the French be reduced to their... Hold on. Yeah, this border. Wait, why is this wrong? There we go. What? Hello? There we go. What is this? That's weird. I'll have to figure that out later. Oh, drugs. Oh, yeah. That would not be conducive to a good health. And it's even scarier to think of what that would mean for all the German soldiers, considering they literally ingested chocolate that had drugs in it. Panzer chocolate, I think it's called. And they'd have all this stuff. Like, it's actually kind of insane. It looks weird having them be that contiguous. It does make sense for them to push the boundary west a bit. Economic reasons too. That place has a lot of steel. They'd probably want to keep it. Yes, terrifying. Terrifying indeed. Not safe for work. Britain would still be democratic though, so that's nice, at least for now. I wouldn't put Imperial Federation though. Like, maybe that'd be an ambition of some people, but it wouldn't be there yet. We're gonna assume this is like fresh off of a conquest, so. I hate this. Hold on. What is this? Oh yeah, Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. There we go. Much better. I'm actually going to have Britain keeping Somalia. I thought that they would just give it over to the Italians, but if the point of divergence is they completely avoid the conflict at all, why would they? So, let's get rid of this. Color scheme. This is suck. Skuldagrim's unexpurgated color key. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna jump out real quick to make sure that the kids are okay. Just give me a second. Thoughts on TNO. That I need to make a really long, in-depth video essay about how their current policies regarding their timeline are devastating. And that's all I can say right now. Yeah, really. Oh. Yes, Lore Boy? Lore Boy, I'm streaming. Do you want to come here and say hi to everyone? Oh, okay. Could I do that after my stream? Lore Boy is like, no, I want to play Lego with you. Hi. You want to play with me? You have to wait until I'm done? And we'll play Legos outside? G's outside.
Oh, yes.
What?
This one.
Oh, yeah, that's for their place, yeah. Down. We're gonna keep it here for now.
You have lipids?
A little bit?
Yes.
Maybe after I'm done, we can look at it, okay?
That you did now?
Not right now. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Yeah, I'm thinking I will. I think I will go play.
That didn't focus on me?
Yeah, we can do that. Everyone in the chat's like, go play with your kid. So they're on your side. You want to say thank you to everyone?
But what do I want to put on my head? On my ears too.
You want to put it on your ears? Okay. Lore Boy
Guys,
has the headphone.
I want to get mama tags. My mama tag, guys. Mama tags? Papa, say Papa, guys. Say go.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay. Thanks a lot for watching today, everyone. See all those hearts? You see the hearts? Those are people saying that they love you. And we're like, thank you. See? That's all the different people saying that right now. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Let's go play Lego. Okay. I'm gonna go play Lego. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll hold hands. Don't worry.